Well, hello everyone. Once officially, welcome to the session on significance of writing practice under proper guidance in sociology. This session is going to be completely on sociology and sociology related things. I'm not going to entertain any question from GS because this session has been typically the agenda of the session has been set to be on sociology only. Now, this session, what we are doing here, we are doing this completely based on my personal experiences. As much as I have seen sociology, in that respect, I'm doing this session. Now, sociology as such, I would say it's a very interesting subject with a short but dynamic syllabus, which also helps us score decently in UPSC mains examination, right? In fact, if I share my own experiences, I must admit my score was something around 334 and 343. Two particular scores in sociology mains, and these were the two scores out of 600. Now, I originally don't come from sociology backdrop. My background is from commerce. My background was not originally from sociology. Later on, what I pursued, but my original background is from commerce. In spite of that, I could score at least something to the tune of 334 or 343 in two times with sociology as the optional, right? So yes, I can say that this is one optional which helps us to score decently in UPSC mains examination. But there are certain aspects which an aspirant should be aware about, right? What are these things? Firstly, there exists a difference between UPSC's approach and the academic approach. We all are coming after completing our master's, MPhil, doctoral, or at least graduation, right? Obviously, because graduation is the entry level here. By the way, we all are aware about the academic approach, a purely bookish or book oriented approach. Now, UPSC goes beyond that. UPSC is not bothered at all about what's written in the books. Say a thinker, Marx may be more precise, Karl Marx. Karl Marx died in 1883. What am I doing in 2020 studying Karl Marx? The man is dead 150 years back. Why am I bothered about him? Right? What UPSC does? UPSC goes beyond that academic approach, beyond that bookish understanding. Here, it is far more concerned about the application of these theories. In the books, what you study, in the books, what you read, UPSC goes beyond that and goes for its application. And quite obviously so. Why? Because the nature of the job is going to be applied. And this examination is absolutely job oriented. Actually, something happened. It was around 2011 that a complaint went from Lavasna to UPSC that whom are you sending? These people, they are not even capable to be clerks, and you're sending them to be IS officers. And from there on, UPSC started changing its approach completely, and the approach today is completely job oriented. Okay. Now, not only that, the type of question UPSC asks are quite often than not completely random in nature. It is very difficult to predict these questions or the dimensions at which or the perspectives at which UPSC looks at with the help of these questions. So forget about preparing for them. If you think you can prepare for those questions beforehand, no, you cannot. Say, for example, a question was asked in 2019 by UPSC. This is question number 8C. I'm reading the question. Okay. The question reads, how is terrorism a new form of asymmetrical warfare? Okay. That's the first part of the question, that how is terrorism a new form of asymmetrical warfare? And the second part reads, What are some of the challenges in trying to win the war on terror? Now tell me, from which particular part of the syllabus this question is being asked? This question vaguely relates to two particular parts of the syllabus: politics and society, and social change. But genuinely speaking, we normally do not prepare for these type of questions. So if you try to attempt question number 8, you'll have to write this question. Now tell me, how are you going to prepare for this question beforehand? Can you? Can anyone, for that matter? Now obviously no one would be expecting such questions. So how the question of preparing for them does not arise altogether. And this is not the only case, I must admit. Even from the traditional areas, the type of questions which are being asked at times are extremely random in nature. Say for example, I'm taking up a question of 2018. This question was asked by UPSC in 2018. I'm forgetting the question number exactly. This is on Durkheim. The question says, explain Durkheim's basic argument on suicide. Can you analyze high suicide rates of contemporary Indian society with Durkheim's theory? Durkheim, a thinker of 1850s. And UPSC is saying that, look at Durkheim, and can you find any relevance of Durkheim today in contemporary India? That's UPSC. Or for that matter, 2016 question, this question was on Merton. Okay, 2016 UPSC asks, analyze the manifest and latent functions of security of tenure of bureaucrats in the light of Merton's theory. Tell me how to prepare for these questions. Okay, latent and manifest of Merton can be in so many areas. It can be in one's family. It can be in one's education system, university system. It can be in respect to bureaucracy. Or I do recall on one occasion, UPSC also asked about Merton's deviance and its relevance in present day traffic system. Tell me, that's the nature of the question. Clear? So a basic reading of the material, I don't know how much it's going to take you. Given this type of questions, just a basic reading of certain quality study materials is not going to be sufficient enough. An aspirant here needs the guidance of a teacher or a senior who would help them to correlate the different theories with present day world order, and also help them in comparing one thinker's understanding with another. In fact, being honest, I would like to elaborate here this second part. The more we look into the questions of the time, the more we understand the knack of UPSC of raising debates and search for an analytical mind. Yes, that's what they are looking for, an analytical mind. This is why we are focusing, or at least what I would do, I would be focusing more on the comparative analysis of the thinkers. Right? None of the books which are available there. I can show you a few books, the quality books which are available nowadays. Whether you talk of George Ritzer or you talk of Abraham, doesn't matter. None of these books, they cover the comparative analysis properly. There are some IGNOU materials, but those materials of IGNOU, they also fall short of fulfilling the requirement. Why? The IGNOU material covers just 3 thinkers, Emile Durkheim, Karl Marx, and Max Weber, and that too half-heartedly. So, we do not have sufficient material, sufficient quality material from where questions are being asked. It is here where you need the guidance. It is here where we have to work. Okay. Now, what we need is a thorough analysis of all the 5 pioneering thinkers. whether Emile Durkheim, Karl Marx, Max Weber, Talcott Parsons, Robert K. Merton, all the five together in every possible angle. And yes, there is hardly any material available. You can say that there is a material of Mahapatra sir, there is material of Upendra Gaur sir. We can go for these materials. Even there is a problem. I have been a student of one of the best faculties in Delhi, and in spite of that, I must admit, well, my teacher, he helped me. He personally helped me a lot, no doubt about it. Where I stand today is practically because of the personal guidance which I got from my teacher, my guide. But I have been through the materials of all the so-called great teachers in the field of UPSC. And none of their materials, because these teachers as well, they hardly bother about what you're going to face. Result, even those materials are not sufficient enough. Now tell me what to do. What I would suggest, my suggestion is, try to understand the concepts, to properly comprehend the concepts, do a thorough analysis, relate them with the present times, and then write in your own words what you've understood in your own words. This is what I'm going to practice here. This is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to break down all the theories, all the thinkers, all the theories, everything possible in as simple and as easy and lucid language as possible. Simultaneously, I'm going to make you understand things. See, the way I'm devising the course, obviously you can understand I'm talking about a course here. What we are doing, we are trying to come out with a particular course of sociology. Clear? Now here in this course, what we are doing is, we will be going for the class. My suggestion is, in the class, understand. In the class, don't try to write. Listen to what I am saying and try to understand it. Even right now, you can see I'm recording. All the classes which will be done, they'll be recorded, and I'll ensure that the videos are available to you. I'll make sure that the videos become available to you within a few hours, within 2-3 hours. So that after 2-3 hours, you can watch those videos properly, and then accordingly, going through the videos, you can prepare your notes. Simultaneously, I'll also be providing you with notes. I'll be providing you with a combination of IGNOU material and a combination of my notes. It'll be a combo. It won't be just my notes only, it will be my notes and the valid portions of IGNOU material. That's what I'll provide you. Simultaneously, I'll also encourage you to prepare your own notes while going through the videos. So in the class, understand what I'm saying, and then go through the videos, prepare your notes, understand, and then try to write in your own words. And after every topic, I'll be raking up previous year's questions, and I'll obviously be trying to write them. Not only me, I'll be trying to discuss the structure of the answers. I'll also be making you to write them. I need you to write them. Write them and send them to me for answer correction. Now, in the answer, don't expect me to give you marks. I won't be giving you marks. What I'll do, I'll be pointing out the shortfalls in the answers, the shortcomings in the answers. Clear? That's how we are going to approach. Now here, that's all that I have got to say. Because yes, these dimensions which we are looking at, these dimensions are there. These problems are there. Right? So how to approach them? I can better analyze them. Say, for example, the answer, the question that I raised in respect to Merton, right? manifest and latent functions of security of tenure of bureaucrats in the light of Martin's theory. First, we have to understand what is the manifest and latent function of Martin. And then only I can elaborate how to relate it with, I'm going to elaborate how to relate it with the present day scenario. And when I'm looking at the present day scenario, I'll look at a spectrum of areas where we can relate it. Why just the security of the bureaucrat? As I was saying, I can relate it with the present day family. Latent and manifest function can be of marriage, can be of family, can be of schools, can be of universities, can be of hospitals. Clear? So I'm going to look at that way, and then accordingly I'm going to force you practically to write, and write in your own words. That's what the approach is going to be. Clear? Now you can unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand, and you can obviously ask your questions if you have any. Right? But before I open the platform for you, I would genuinely ask you, those people who are yet to join the course, please think of joining the course. We are starting from 5th of August. The timing will be morning 7 to 9:30, 2.5 hours for 40 days. From 5th of August, will be going on till 14th of September. Not 14th, 13th of September. Okay. What I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to prepare a course which will be sufficient enough for your revision as well. So that your revision is also going to get done here itself. Right? So that the remaining day, use the remaining day for your GS, but do at least the first round of your optional here itself. Because after prelims is on 4th of on 8th of not 8th, 4th of October, right? And your mains is starting from 8th of January. After prelims, you have 95 days window. In those 95 days, if you think you're going to start preparing your optional and you're going to complete it, you can't do that. So those people who are going for this time, this attempt, this is high time for them to at least do your optional for once. So do it with me. That's all that I can offer you. And these videos, the videos of the lectures will be available for you for next 1 year. So keep on using them. Keep on using these videos and keep on preparing your own notes accordingly. And obviously I'll be there available for you based on the appointments that we'll set. I'll be there available for you, and accordingly you can go for the mains. However, let me tell you, this is not a revision course, because I'll be covering the whole syllabus. It can be used for revision purpose. It can be very well used for revision purpose. But don't think that I'll be skipping and jumping. I won't be. I'll be looking at every possible angle while covering the course here. Okay. Now the platform is open to you. If you have any question, ask me. No one?
হ্যালো,
Yes, Devanjan.
হ্যাঁ স্যার, বলছিলাম স্যার ওটা কি আপনার মানে উইকেন্ড প্লাস উইকডেজ মানে রেগুলারলি কি আপনি ক্লাস করাবেন নাকি মানে
Regular 40 days. Regular 40 days.
রেগুলার
Every day 7 7 to 9:30. 40 days, 2.5 hours, 100 hours. That's what the structure is going to be.
আচ্ছা, ওকে স্যার, ওকে স্যার,
Okay.
ওকে স্যার। স্যার অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমি 2021 এর জন্য প্রিপারেশন নিচ্ছি। তো আপনি এক্ষুনি যেটা বললেন যে মানে যারা নেক্সট ইয়ার যারা মেন্সে মানে এক্সাম দেবে তাদের জন্য আপনি মানে কোর্সটা করাচ্ছেন। তো আপনি যদি 2021 এ দেওয়া কোনো প্রবলেম হবে না? তো আমরা জাস্ট মানে আগে কোর্সটা ফিনিশ করে দেবো।
There should not be any issue. because I'm going to cover the whole syllabus, darling.
Okay, sir.
This is a full-fledged course, and that's why I'm going to keep the videos accessible for everyone for next 1 year, 1 full year.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anyone else? Prashant, Durga Prasad, any question?
हेलो सर.
Hi, Durga Prasad. Yeah.
सर जो बिजनेस ऑप्शनल के लिए जो एडिशनल कौन सा साइट है जो कि हमें डेली अपडेट कर सकते हैं?
Voice crack हो रहा है, voice crack हो रहा है बाबू.
हेलो.
Yep.
हेलो सर,
हाँ.
जो ऑप्शनल के लिए जो
हाँ.
डेली करंट अफेयर्स के लिए जो एडिशनल मटेरियल चाहिए, तो उसको हम कैसे तैयारी कर सकते हैं?
देखो, माई सजेशन इज कि हिंदू में जो एडिटोरियल्स आते हैं,
यस सर.
ठीक है, अगर उन एडिटोरियल्स में से कोई ऐसा एडिटोरियल है जो सोसाइटी से जुड़ा हुआ है, उस एडिटोरियल को थोड़ा सा गौर से पढ़ो. से फॉर एग्जांपल, अभी के टाइम पे कोरोना के बैकड्रॉप में देखो कि कंटिन्यूअसली लेबर प्रॉब्लम या फिर फूड स्केर्सिटी, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, इन सभी को लेकर के, इन सभी इश्यूज को लेकर के आर्टिकल्स आते जा रहे हैं. इन आर्टिकल्स को थोड़ा सीरियसली लो. तो ये सारे के सारे आर्टिकल्स दे हैव देयर रैमिफिकेशन इन सोशियोलॉजी सिलेबस. ठीक है.
सर और एक साइड है गवर्नमेंट का जो ईपीजी पाठशाला, वो उसमें जो मैटर वो अच्छा नहीं है.
ठीक है.
थैंक यू.
क्योंकि मेन प्रॉब्लम क्या है मालूम है, जो फैकल्टीज बनाते हैं ना, हम कहीं ना कहीं फैकल्टीज बहुत ज्यादा बुकिश हो जाते हैं या फिर वो एकेडमिक ओरिएंटेशन से बनाते हैं चीजें, और यूपीएससी को बिल्कुल भी मतलब नहीं है उस एकेडमिक ओरिएंटेशन से. आप देख ही रहे हो क्वेश्चंस किस तरीके से आ रहे हैं. स्टेट पीसीएस के लिए फिर भी वो मटेरियल्स ठीक रहते हैं, लेकिन यूपीएससी के लिए तो बिल्कुल नहीं. यूपीएससी में जो हमें चाहिए, वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्ट्स, जो मैं क्लास में भी करता था आप लोगों के साथ, कि भैया समझो पहले चीजों को, एकदम इजी एंड ल्यूसिड वे में समझो चीजों को, और फिर उनका एप्लीकेशन समझो और उसे अपने शब्दों में लिखो. That's how the approach has to be, right? You are the recent most batch of mine, तो आपको तो मालूम है ही कि मैं क्लास में किस तरीके से अप्रोच करता हूँ. ठीक है. That's the way, that's how to approach it.
Sir,
हाँ, sort of, yeah.
sir, as you said, like to read the editorials and all. So there was a recent news about Poland quitting the Istanbul Convention,
Mm-hmm.
which was about women's rights and violence against women. It is a European treaty. It doesn't concern India. But can we quote
But
these kind of?
the issue is valid worldwide.
The issue is valid worldwide, but this treaty, the Istanbul Convention, is not of Indian concern. India's concern ka nahi hai. So, but can we quote these kind of issues in the paper?
While writing answer, yes, absolutely. While writing answer, absolutely. मैं जितना यूपीएससी को जानता हूं और समझता हूं, आप जितना रिसेंट डेवलपमेंट्स को कोट करोगे ना अपने आंसर्स में, उतना बेहतर है. वो कौन एक थिंकर मर गया, वो कुछ बोल के गया था, उसे रट के हम लोग आंसर में लिख रहे हैं रट्टू पोपट के तरह. यूपीएससी डज नॉट लाइक दोज आंसर्स. क्लियर? तो एकदम से जो अभी के टाइम पे हो रहे हैं, उन्हीं चीजों को उठाइए और उन्हें जोड़िए अभी जो हो रहे हैं उन चीजों के साथ. Clear? That's what the approach should be.
Sir, I had a question.
Yep. Yes, Devanjan.
Yeah. हाँ sir, actually I do not taking Hindu newspaper. I am taking Indian Express. So as you have told that the editorial about the Hindu, but if I read the editorial of
You can access those editorials from my website only, from Current Affairs Review website only.
okay,
You don't have to take a Hindu newspaper.
okay sir.
Okay. We all the relevant issues and editorials in the news today section, we do cover them. So you can easily access them from there itself. Why do you have to take a Hindu?
Okay sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
actually in examination there are means suppose कोई 10 मार्क या 15 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है तो उसमें मतलब वर्ड लिमिट दिया रहता है कि 300 वर्ड या 250 वर्ड में लिखना है.
Yeah.
तो सर एक्चुअली क्या
नॉर्मली 15 मार्कर अगर हुआ, जीएस में मैं बोल रहा हूँ, अगर जीएस में कोई 15 मार्कर हुआ तो उसके लिए रहता है 250 वर्ड्स, और कोई 10 मार्कर हुआ तो उसके लिए रहता है 150 वर्ड्स, और इन ऑप्शनल जो 20 मार्कर है उसके लिए नॉर्मली रहता है 300 वर्ड्स, और जो 10 मार्कर है उसके लिए रहता है वही 200 वर्ड्स.
अच्छा,
ठीक है. तो ये नॉर्मली वर्ड लिमिट्स दिए हुए होते हैं, प्लस माइनस 10%. You're not a supercomputer, so you cannot complete exactly on 200th word or exactly on 300th word or exactly on 250th word or exactly on 150th word. So it's always plus minus 10%. तो 150 वर्ड मतलब 135 to 165 ये है वर्ड लिमिट. अगर 250 वर्ड्स है तो 225 to 275 ये है वर्ड लिमिट. अगर 300 है तो 270 to 330 ये है वर्ड लिमिट. इसके बीच में रखना, ना इससे कम ना इससे ज्यादा.
So actually how do we measure that word limit?
See, the more you practice, normally हम लोग बार बार बोलते हैं कि लिखते वक्त अपने कॉपी में ही मतलब उस पेज में ध्यान रखो कि आप कितने शब्द लिख पा रहे हो. जब फास्ट लिख रहे हो तो उस पेज में आप कितने शब्द लिख पा रहे हो.
अच्छा,
तो वहीं से आपको एक आइडिया लगना शुरू हो जाएगा कि आप कितने शब्द के आसपास लिखे हो. ये ग्रेजुअली धीरे धीरे इनकलकेट करने वाली स्किल है. ऐसा नहीं कि आज शुरू किए तो कल ही ये हो गया, वैसा नहीं होने वाला. ये एक ऐसा स्किल है जो धीरे धीरे इनकलकेट किए जाते हैं.
ठीक है सर. सर और एक चीज पूछना चाहता था कि
हाँ,
सपोज जो वर्ड लिमिट है, मैं मतलब सपोज कि 300 वर्ड लिमिट से 20 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है,
ठीक है.
तो मैंने अपना आंसर जो लिखा है तो उसमें मतलब वर्ड लिमिट बहुत ही कम है, लेकिन जो मैंने पॉइंट आउट किया है रेलिवेंट आंसर लिखा है, तो आंसर वाइज बहुत ही सही है, लेकिन वर्ड
फिर
लिमिट
भी आप थोड़ा सा 1-2 मार्क आप लूज करोगे अगर वर्ड लिमिट हिट नहीं किए.
हाँ,
क्योंकि इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट द पॉइंट्स, इट्स आल्सो अबाउट हाउ टू प्रेजेंट इट.
अच्छा,
और नॉर्मली मैं इतना बोल सकता हूँ, जिन क्वेश्चंस के लिए वहां पे 20 मार्क्स दिए जाते हैं,
हाँ,
वो क्वेश्चंस कहीं ना कहीं 300 शब्द के आसपास ले ही लेगा. अगर सभी पॉइंट्स आप टच कर रहे हो तो वो कहीं ना कहीं 300 शब्द ले ही लेगा.
अच्छा,
लिखते वक्त देखोगे वो वर्ड लिमिट एक्चुअली शॉर्ट पड़ेगा.
अच्छा,
लिखते वक्त नॉर्मली आप वर्ड लिमिट को एक्सीड करते जाओगे. ये जितने भी जो पुराने स्टूडेंट्स हैं मेरे यहाँ पे, चाहे सौरभ हो, चाहे सृष्टि हो, चाहे संकेत हो, चाहे दुर्गा प्रसाद हो, सभी लोग इस चीज को एक्सेप्ट करेंगे कि अगर सभी पॉइंट्स हम लोग डाल रहे हैं, जो नेसेसरी पॉइंट्स है, प्रशांत हो, तो व्हाट हैपेंस इज हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं वर्ड लिमिट को एक्सीड कर जाते हैं.
अच्छा, ठीक है सर,
ओके,
ठीक है सर.
ठीक है. चलो, एनीथिंग एल्स, एनीवन?
Yes,
और सर
यस, यस देवांजन.
हाँ सर, एक्चुअली सर अप्रोच मतलब वो कैसे करें, मतलब सपोज कोई क्वेश्चन दिया अभी
ऑब्वियसली
शुरू
वो
में.
क्लास में अकॉर्डिंगली हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे ना
ठीक है
कि
सर,
किस तरीके से अप्रोच किया जाता है. यस दुर्गा
ठीक है
प्रसाद.
सर फ्लो चार्ट का इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है जो सोशियोलॉजी ऑफ साउंड में?
रोल सेट.
ना फ्लो चार्ट का
अच्छा, फ्लो
इम्पोर्टेंस
चार्ट.
क्या है?
देखो फ्लो चार्ट नॉर्मली जैसे क्लास में भी आप देखे हो मुझे वो ट्रायंगल्स वगैरह बनाते हुए फैमिली मैरिज किनशिप के टाइम पे या उन सब केसेस में मैं डायग्रामेटिकली प्रेजेंट करता था चीजें। अगर डायग्रामेटिकली प्रेजेंट करते हो तो वो कहीं ना कहीं समझाता है कि आप पूरे कंसेप्ट को कितना बेहतर तरीके से समझ पाए हो। अगर आप कंसेप्ट को थॉरली समझ पाए हो तभी आप उससे एक डायग्राम के फॉर्मेट में प्रेजेंट कर सकते हो। लेकिन एक चीज ध्यान रखना, डायग्राम इज अ टू एजेड सोर्ड। अगर डायग्राम में थोड़ा सा भी कोई गड़बड़ी किए तो मार्क्स भी ज्यादा लूज करोगे। लेकिन अगर डायग्राम ठीक ठाक बनाए हो, थोड़ा सा भी ठीक ठाक है, तो बहुत ज्यादा मार्क्स गेन कर जाओगे।
सर जो डायग्राम पे 100% कॉन्फिडेंस है तो उसके बनेंगे ना,
हाँ
तो
एकदम, जो जिसके बारे में कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है उसे मत बनाना। और एक चीज ध्यान रखना, सिर्फ डायग्राम बना के छोड़ के मत आना, उस डायग्राम को इलाबोरेट करना है इन वर्ड्स। अगर उस डायग्राम को हम लोग वर्ड्स में इलाबोरेट नहीं किए तो भी हम लोग मार्क्स लूज करेंगे। डायग्राम अकेला काफी नहीं है, डायग्राम के साथ साथ हमें लिखना भी है, ध्यान रखना ये चीज। ओके guys, think of enrolling for the course. Genuinely it's an appeal from my end. The course fee I've kept 10,000, but for my old students there is a concession obviously. आप सभी को मालूम है, जितने भी मेरे old students हैं सभी को वो मैसेज भी भेजा गया है। Genuinely think of enrolling if you can, right? मेरे लिए भी obviously you can understand it, it's mutually beneficial on both the sides, right? So I am looking forward for your enrollment. Think of it, right? Anything else, anyone? I have 3 particular comments. Let me look at those comments. One is from Raghavendra. I don't see Raghavendra here. Comment करके निकल गया क्या? No, Raghavendra yeah, he is there. Role of civil society in Swachh Bharat in paper 2. How we write in sociology approach and how to quote thinkers. See, civil society as such वो अपने आप में हम लोग के सिलेबस का एक मेजर एस्पेक्ट है। When we are looking at social movements in nowadays, उसी में सिविल सोसाइटी एक मेजर एक अहम भूमिका निभाती है। उसके साथ साथ स्वच्छ भारत जो उठाया गया है, पहले उसका नाम रखा ही गया था स्वच्छ भारत अभियान। अभियान यानी मूवमेंट। Today that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has converted into Swachh Bharat Mission. Okay, so in that sense Swachh Bharat is having a significance there, but obviously it's an abhiyan. So yes, in the form of social movement I'm looking at it, where general awareness of the people has to be increased about hygiene and sanitation, and simultaneously, और सबसे बड़ी बात एक चीज और ध्यान दीजिएगा, स्वच्छ भारत का सबसे अहम जो हिस्सा है, जो एस्पेक्ट है, वो है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ GMPI, ग्लोबल मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स। क्योंकि ग्लोबल मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स जो है उसमें एक मेजर एरिया है सैनिटेशन, जहां पे इंडिया लैग्स बिहाइंड। तो उस पर्टिकुलर एंगल से भी इसे देखना है, ठीक है? तो सिर्फ मूवमेंट नहीं, उसके साथ साथ पॉपुलेशन डायनामिक्स एंड पॉवर्टी, वहां पे भी कहीं ना कहीं स्वच्छ भारत अभियान इसका एक अहम भूमिका हम लोग देख पाते हैं। तो राघवेंद्र इन तीनों एरियाज में ही ये सिग्निफिकेंट हो उठता है, राइट? और थिंकर्स मतलब हमेशा थिंकर्स जो थिंकर्स बुक में लिखे गए हैं वही थिंकर्स है, ऐसा नहीं है। मिस्टर MK गांधी इज ऑल्सो थिंकर, राइट? मिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी इज ऑल्सो थिंकर, क्लियर? तो वो लोग जो जिस तरीके से देख रहे हैं, जैसे अप्रोच कर रहे हैं, उसे भी कोट किया जा सकता है। थिंकर इज एनीवन हु इज ऑफ a stature and is giving us an idea, right? Why do you think स्वच्छ भारत अभियान में गांधी का चश्मा जो है, मेरा चश्मा तो नहीं, गांधी का चश्मा जो है, उसे उसका लोगो बनाया गया? कारण है गांधी's emphasis on sanitation, right? So quote Gandhi there. Clear? Okay. Guys, genuinely, again, I'm requesting, please think of enrolling with the course. and simultaneously let's proceed. Fifth को हम लोग क्लास शुरू कर रहे हैं, 5th को सुबह 7 बजे. आपको उसके पहले 4th को ही नाइट को आप सभी को, मतलब जो लोग एनरोल करेंगे उन सभी को लिंक भेज दिया जाएगा अकॉर्डिंगली. ऑलरेडी एनरोलमेंट शुरू हो चुके हैं, काफी सारे लोग ऑलरेडी एनरोलमेंट करवा चुके हैं. तुहिना, आई विश द वीडियो इज प्रॉपर नाउ. शायद आप ही के वहां से थोड़ा जो इंटरनेट है वो इंटरनेट कनेक्शन अनस्टेबल था, इसी वजह से वीडियो पॉज हो गया था. और एल्स थिंग्स आर स्मूथ फ्रॉम दिस साइड एट लीस्ट. और ये वीडियो जो है, इस वीडियो को हम लोग मतलब विल मेक द वीडियो available on YouTube as well. You can see the video once again there, right guys? But please think of subscribing to the course. That's what I can request you all. Okay? और जो लोग इस साल नहीं दे रहे हो उन्हें भी बोल सकते हैं कि ये कोर्स, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ फुल फ्लेजेड कोर्स. मैं पूरा सिलेबस ही कवर करूंगा. आप 2020 में दो, 2021 में दो या 2024 में दो, डजंट मैटर. You can go for the course here, right? You can easily go for the course. और जितना टाइम लेकर के आप प्रिपेयर करोगे उतना बेहतर है आपके लिए. That's one thing I can assure you. Because yes, UPSC or sociology is one optional which would require some time. Though the syllabus is really small and dynamic, but still it needs some time from your side. So think of enrolling, please. Right? That's all, guys. I wish we do not have any more questions here. Then I'm ending the session here itself. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.